everybody, this is Wargamer Shawn. I'm here again to do a couple things. I apologize, I have really bad allergies right now, and so I'm a little stuffed up in the nose right now. And it's been raining here a lot, unseasonably so. I think we're like 4 inches more than average. The damp and stuff hasn't really been helping my allergies too much. So I'm making the video today for a couple of reasons. One is I wanted to do a thank you to Kiblams. I had I'll link his channel below, but he sent me a nice measuring device that he made. That's, I don't know if you can tell on the screen, I'm looking at it, looks blue, but it's actually purple. It might not be coming through with the color that well. He also sent me a couple of his Kiblam dice, which is really awesome because I kind of collect dice, so it's kind of nice to have somebody else. I'm going to have to get his address and send him some of our league's dice. So thank you very much. You didn't have to do that. It was fun coming up with different things for your opening of your videos. I had fun doing it, but thank you for running the competition, and thank you for giving out the prizes to me and everybody that was the winner. So thanks, and check out the link below. Kiblams is a channel. He's a good channel, good, cool guy. Check him out. He has Dark Eldar, which is always cool, and then he's doing some other things. He does some really cool modeling and conversion things that are just, to me, amazing. Like he did a tutorial on how to do books for bases, which I thought was really cool. He's done some really cool work on orc bits for Gork Morka, orc truck conversions and stuff like that. He also did a really cool conversion for I'm blanking on the name of the creature that they can ride on, and I'm sorry, I'm blanking on it right now. I have one and I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, he took a dinosaur model kit and kind of made it into one of those, and he did a really good job of that in plastic art. Check it out, it's beautiful. Anyway, what else is going on? Well, to be honest, I just ran a tournament, an ITC tournament at our local group, and I'd kind of made it to 1,500 points, and it was kind of restricted to a CAD, and you could have multiple CADs, but you could only run one codex basically, and it was kind of meant to be kind of a fun, just kind of a more white dwarfy, or kind of not a big, competitive tournament. But as they are, people usually will find ways to break the meta and do really, bring a really tough list. So it's hard. 40K is hard right now. I apologize. It's in a tough spot, and I'm very passionate about the hobby. I have no intentions of quitting. I don't think I could ever quit the hobby, but I'm feeling a little burned out with the way it is. The hard thing is that for those of you that aren't playing necessarily competitive play, and I like to play competitive, but at the same time I also kind of like to tone it down. And there's nothing wrong with people playing competitive and using the best to their advantage. It just seems like right now in the state of the game, there's such a big spread between really competitive builds and non-competitive builds, and it seems like even with non-competitive builds, they have a hard time competing even against a good list against a more novice player, let's say. And it didn't used to be that way. I would say, I usually I like to teach new people or introduce them to the game, and a lot of times I'll purposely, if people want to try something out, I'll try to help them and give them a more powerful list than what I will run personally, so that they kind of have an advantage, and it makes me kind of test myself a little bit too, because can I do better with an army that's not necessarily built the best for the army that I'm facing. And I kind of have fun with that and kind of pride myself on that. But I recently had a game where I was playing Corn Demonkin against Tau, and nice guy, really nice chap, and but it was very disheartening that very early on in the game I could see that I virtually had no chance whatsoever to do anything really to win at all. I mean, just because after turn one, and he had first turn, he pretty much blew most of my stuff off the table that could get to him and hurt him. You know, because Corn Demonkin is more close combat-y. He didn't have a lot of interceptor. I don't think he had any interceptor and no Skyfire, and so I had two Helldrakes that did a number on everything except for like the bigger suits, so like the Riptide, the Storm Surge. I didn't have a super heavy or gargantuan at all, and you know, it did a number on the drones and like the Fire Warriors, but like it didn't do anything to the broadsides or anything like that. So it was kind of disheartening because after turn two, I really didn't have much of anything left except for some cultists and immobilized Mauler Fiend that couldn't do anything the rest of the game, and the two Helldrakes. And the Helldrakes did a lot, but it's even so, it's just very disheartening when you can't, there's just nothing you can really do. And there's always those games that you get with certain armies against certain armies that they just don't fare well, but it just kind of got me thinking that with the state that 40K is in right now, I got a little disheartened, I'll be honest, and so I decided I wasn't going to until I got the rules. I started collecting stuff. I had the Betrayal at Kolth box set, and I had collected some other kind of 30K stuff to start a 30K army. I was going to wait until the Thousand Suns, which is the Legion that I like and wanted to play, came out. But I decided, you know what, I'm just going to kind of start doing this because I found, and I think things will change over time, but right now with 30K, most of the time, people have their individual, each Legion has their individual like specialties, but the nice thing is that for the most part, except for, well, what the Guard is, they're like Solar Auxilia, and then the Adeptus Mechanicus. Aside from those two, every faction is very similar. They all have similar, you know, access to everything that's the same. And so the nice thing is that you can min-max things, and well, it's harder to min-max things, but you can try to build a really nasty list. But even that difference between nasty and friendly isn't as big, and so it's not as noticeable. And the people, at least in my area, excuse me, that are kind of getting into 30K, and almost, I mean, I think every one of them is a 40K player too, but I think a lot of them have kind of moved into to kind of get away from some of the competitive play and kind of play more, you know, friendlier games. And so I'm kind of getting into that to try to kind of maybe boost my spirits a little bit on on 40K. I'm not going to give it up for sure. I certainly won't, and I'm still going to do battle reports and stuff like that with them. Just right now, hobby-wise, I feel like I need to work on 30K. And I, you know, get sick of things quick and have kind of attention deficit as far as like I'll be painting like, ooh, well, let's paint this pretty thing and this looks cool, and then the next month I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do something else now. So who knows how long I'll stay on it. But I started with a miniature I picked up at I think the American Warhammer store had an exclusive model to Praetor. But I got Forge World. I got some heads that are Thousand Sun Legion specific, and so I kind of had to do a lot with his head because it didn't really want to fit into the Cataphracti armor, and I kind of put that in his, instead of his like bald head. I'm also not a big fan. I don't like helmets not on. To me, that just doesn't make any sense as far as protection. So I always put helmets on my guys, even the Space Wolves. So I don't know what I'll use him as. I don't think he's got specific rules. I could use him as a librarian in a Cataphracti armor. I'm not sure yet, but this is the first model I put together for 30K. My second one, and I couldn't wait any longer to put this together. I got it as soon as it came out. Was the Thousand Suns Contemptor Dreadnought. I mean, it's just beautiful. Like all the details for like Thousand Suns, even on like the sides, and like the little beetle on there, and even on the front with the little scarab on there and Thousand Sun symbols on the legs and stuff. It's just awesome, in the head, obviously. And like I said, I'm kind of, with this army, cool is the rule for me, meaning if it looks cool, I'm going to build it. I don't really know all the rules for 30K yet, so I don't know. I know this is like a Calvern or Volkite Calvern, but I have no idea what it does. I just thought the weapon looked cool, and that's what Forge World had put on their website, so I'm like, sure, I'll build that guy. And I kind of pinned him so he kind of stays in place, but I tried to make him a little bit more dynamic in his pose and stuff like that. And I'm getting, from a guy I got my Eldar bases from, it's a guy in Greece, I'm getting some bases that have some like shattered like Egyptian like writing and tablets on them. So I'm going to redo one. I'm going to paint these separately and then paint the bases separately and then put them on their appropriate bases once it's done. So this isn't going to be the permanent base that he's going to be on. But I thought the model is just gorgeous. Forge World does some beautiful models. I just wish they weren't quite so expensive. The next one I did, and I had for a while, is a Dorado Dreadnought. I like Dreadnoughts a lot. Right now in 40K, they're not that good. They're not survivable, but I hear in 30K they are more. So I don't really care, honestly. I just want to play them. This guy just reminds me, and the first kind of strategy game I get into is Battletech, and this guy just reminds me of like a big mech, like an archer or something, or a catapult. He just reminds me of a mech, so it's like this guy just looks so cool, I gotta have him. So I don't know how good he is, but I think he looks freaking awesome. So that's the Dorado. And then I started putting together my box of Betrayal of Kalth. I put this chaplain guy together. I didn't modify him at all, just because he has kind of a neat helmet anyway, and I figure I could use him as a chaplain if I wanted to. This guy, the Cataphracte Terminator Captain that comes with, and he also doesn't have a helmet on. I took one of the let's see, the Thousand Sun heads that I got from Forge World. And I kind of like cut some of the back of it off and cut some of the front of it and kind of pinned it in there. I think it looks pretty good because he's kind of looking up at his combi weapon here. I don't know if how well you can see that, but I think it's pretty cool. I didn't do anything else with it because I think the model is pretty cool pose. And then my goal is a friend of mine that he used to do videos with me. He's Dr. Z on the channels here. You can check it out. We used to do Mysterious Terrain podcast. He told me to get like 30 just plain Marines with bolters because you're going to need those as like your base troop choices. So I need to start working on those. I just, when you're into something new and it's like, oh, cool, neat, you want to put together the cool stuff first. So this is kind of the cool stuff I had. I have a few rhinos and stuff like that, and have a Sakarian battle tank that I was going to use for my Khorne Demonkin, but they haven't ever, Forge World hasn't changed the rules to allow them to take it. So I base painted it red, and I'm just going to start going from there as far as, because the Thousand Suns and the 30K pre-heresy are a red color. So overall, I'm excited. Hoping I'll be putting more. I'm trying to do better about putting pictures up of stuff that I initially like made and converted before I start painting them or finish painting them. So hopefully you guys like that. If you don't like it, or if you don't want to say like these models are ugly without paint on them, let me know below, and I won't do that anymore. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up, let you know what I'm working on, and I wanted to thank Kiblams Channel, link down below, for the swag that he sent me, which was awesome. I will do an update soon. I'm gonna do an answer to my Q&A that I think it's been like 2 or 3 months since I've done one, and so I'll probably do one of those pretty soon, potentially later this week or this weekend. But just kind of wanted to let you guys know where I'm at and what I'm working on right now. So until next time, take care, guys, and keep on wargaming.
Goodbye, you sexy motherfucker.